Hello and welcome to a new preview video, and this time we will have a look at this very pretty underwater survival city builder game called Aquatico by the developer Digital Reef Games, very fitting name, and the publisher Overseer Games. The game is scheduled for a release in the fourth quarter of 2022, and we will have a look at an, early alpha version. I would say actually a late alpha version, because it's not that far until the scheduled release anymore. I'm recording this during test weekends at the 17th and 18th of September. So when you are watching this video, you will probably not be able to check out this game, or at least check out this version, because the developer is planning to release another playtest version where you might actually be able to see more of the game than I'm able to show you here. So it's a very limited time frame where this game is now available, and I also haven't been able to check out all the different features of the game. I will show you basically, let's say, the first hour of the game or so, and explain some of the interface features and what you're doing basically in this first hour. And of course, this is now a stage of the game, what you can see here, after about an hour. So we will try to get to this point and maybe even further, because when I built that, I still had to look up a lot of things, which, I mean, the game gives somewhat of a nice introduction, but you don't really have a feeling for anything. And I will try to show you what you need to look out for. Like, for example, our food diversity is now lacking, and yeah, so let's start a new game. I will go to the main menu and then create a new game. By the way, this you can also see the game version here. This version I'm playing can also only be played for a maximum of 3 hours, but yeah, I am not able to put that much time into that right now. As I mentioned, it's just this weekend, and I also need to do some other stuff during the time. So unfortunately, yeah, I prepared a bit. I played into the game now for 1-2 hours, and I hope that this gives you a very good first impression of this game. So let's start a new game, and first up we can set our base name. Well, in this case we can't, but I guess that in the release version you will be able to. Then you can choose a banner and a color. Well, I'm not sure where you will be able to see that in the game. Then you can select a different, a type of map, a different style here, which does not seem to be. Well, maybe it's randomly generated. Let's keep an try to remember this shape. There is a different difficulty assigned to that, but for now it's all normal. And as you can see, the button is grayed out. It's not available in alpha test, so we are limited to the shallow reef. And so let's start that. We have a population we are starting with, and I will we can start with the lowest amount of population, the lowest amount of resources, the lowest amount of ore. Maybe make a high amount of events, just so that more stuff is popping up and that I can show you more stuff according to the, like, when resources run out. Because if you have everything right at the start, then it's very hard to get a grasp of, okay, I need to have more of this or that. So if you start with very low values, you need to look into that stuff before, okay, I'm just planting 10 of these buildings, because yeah, you don't have a good feeling for that. For the disasters, we keep it at normal, and for the starting month, I don't have any idea what impact that has, so let's keep it on April and start a new game. And yeah, the tutorial is now still active, but I will quickly go over a couple of these things. and not go into everything into detail until we stumble across that a specific problem. So for example, different kinds of resources and so on. So I hope that the map is generated very soon. It shouldn't take too long to generate it. Yep, there we are. Choose a location for your people to build the subsurface base. Okay, so this is our main quarter, and you can see that we have different types of surfaces here, and we don't want to waste any of the like fertile area with building our base in that. The map, I think, is static, so it should always be the same. I think that is exactly how it looked last time when I started, and we will just put the base, the main base over here. And this is like in Civilization or in several of these other games. It's not just like a starting building with no function. This building also serves as a depot where you can have lots of items stored and so on. The game is not really telling you much about that until you run into some problems. So this is still the tutorial, and I will just go to the next step, So the first things is resources. The second things is also resources, but these are the things you can collect. These ones are the like electricity, either it's there or it's not, or you have not enough and then you need to provide more. Then we have inhabitants and drones and whatnot. And then we have the game speed, and we can decide to stop the game at any time. So it's real time with pause. You can accelerate the game at any time, and it tells us to slow it down, make it faster. And yeah, of course you can zoom around, and you can use the arrow. No, you can't use the arrow keys. You can use WASD. You can scroll at the edges. You can use the right mouse button and the middle mouse button to zoom around, to tilt the camera. And now it's telling us that we should build some buildings. So we will do that, and we will first add a gatherer space. And you can see that this is for some edible stuff. So we have a food resource on the top left, food, and we have different kinds of food. And our population wants to eat something, right? So we have, at the moment, we have 150 mussels and 150 small fish, and they add up to 300. And only if they are eaten up, then our population will starve. Otherwise, they will still complain about the food diversity. So we will just build a gatherer's space over here. It doesn't really matter where you put it. And then our drones will come and build it as soon as we accelerate the game. So right now we can't build anything else because this is still locked by the tutorial. So I will just speed that up now. So you can see that the drones are going over to the building and crafting that one. And now we need to open the job page, and here we can assign our 2 workers and our 12 drones. And this is a bit, I think, maybe not optimal, because these jobs here, they can be workers as well as drones, and you don't really see on the first look what you're actually assigning. Yes, I mean, this is obviously called gatherer drone, but it's not like on the left side you only have workers, on the right side you only have drones. It's a bit mixed, which makes it a bit, yeah, the overview isn't that great. You can also set that it's automatically assigning these, which can be a good idea, but it also can be a bit problematic, as you might have assigned all the drones and then you don't know, okay, why is nothing happening anymore? Actually, I think we need to select that one. So, and I unselected it again. And now we need to build a production building, a sponge collector. You can see the sponge collector as a kind of wood collector, or yeah, felling down trees, and you can see that there is different amount of sponges here. These are lighting up in blue, and I will just place that thing over here, and then they will start, or replace it as close to the mountain as possible, but it shouldn't really make a difference. You can see that they have a work efficiency of 125%, and now it's waiting for this thing to be finished. But I mentioned before that we have stock, and we are basically storing stuff in this building, and that's a bit unfortunate. So if you click on the building, you get to the directives tab, which I think makes no sense. I mean, yes, this is of course also our governing building, but I think that should have been put into some menu option instead, and we should access our like stock in here, which we can access, but we either need to go to this. So we only get the information that this is actually acting as a storage room if we see that this question mark is, well, giving an explanation of the building. We can also, in this menu at the bottom, we can show the additional panels, and you saw the job board from before, but we also have stock. And this is very interesting. This is showing us that we have 1,500 capacity in our building, and we are at 1,248 items already. And you can also see how much we had each month, and this makes sense because we don't have a steady like consumption of some stuff, so it might go down slowly in some resources, or maybe go up because maybe we collected a lot of stuff lying, a lot of plastic which is lying around on the ocean floor in the 1 month, and then maybe it's consumed after the next month. So I think that's the stock window is very nicely done. You will be able to see more in a bit when the game progressed, obviously. So now we will wait until this new sponge collector is built. And you can see that in this building, this was the food building, we have one drone which is assigned, and this one is now generating seafood depending on the season, 310 per year. Alright, so we finished this building, and now we can either go to the jobs board and assign the drone over here, or we can set the sponge plant drone over here, and this will now also collect these, well, wood. These are like these sponges, right? So now we need to place the next production building, and this is an oil platform, and we can enable G for the grid again, and now we can see that this brown area is where oil is available. And so we will place it somewhere so that we get a 100% work efficiency, like let's say, well, it doesn't really matter. We should probably put a second one in a while down there. We will need to destroy some of the sponges which are here, but I guess that is acceptable. Now we need to place a fuel refinery, and this is then transferring or making this oil into something more usable, and we'll just plant it next to this thing. And now we need to connect these. And the first time when I placed this, I made them very close together, so that there was no line in between them. And by the way, I think it's very nice that this is actually using a grid system and not like a system where you can freely place stuff, because that grid system helps you a bit more to keep everything organized and to not try to raid it right to the exactly the same degree as the building next to it and so on. I prefer this grid system here. So we connect these with a pipe, And it's a bit weird, but this pipe is actually not just transporting the oil, it's also transporting fuel, electricity and oxygen at the same time. So it's not just one pipe, it's multiple pipes, or it's a whole pipe system, right? So these are still being built, and now we also need a plastics factory which is turning these sponges into plastics. So you can think of this like a sawing mill, which is turning raw wood into some wood planks, which can then be used for buildings. So let's go to this no, go away. You can drag and drop these. Actually, it's telling us to give us production boost, but okay. We will need to use a plastics thing in a bit. Tutorial will continue. Okay, let's speed it up. So yeah, the sponge is basically a main resource for multiple things, not just for buildings. We're also using it for, well, we will see a couple of other buildings there. Yeah, we can boost some buildings and create increase the output there. This might also be a very helpful thing if you're just lacking a tiny bit to make it usable. So this building is ready, we assign a drone to that, and this is also ready, and we also assign a drone to that. We still have a couple of drones left. You can see 8 are remaining, but we also need to build some more drones at some point. So plastic factory uses the sponges and to produce plastics. So now we are at the point to build a plastics factory, which will just put over here. Batch. And now we need to connect it with the pipes and a crucial material, yeah, and connect it to the existing pipeline. And the very first time, as I mentioned, I placed these buildings next to each other and I just connected them with one pipeline in between these 2 points. And because each building can only have one connection, it was impossible to connect another thing at that point. And so I was stuck in the tutorial because I messed up this. And I think at that time, yeah, the destruction is still disabled, so I wasn't even able to cancel that and restart the game. So next we need to gather some, well, you can gather plastics, ironstone and sponges, and we will just look for some plastics. I don't think that there is a good way to find them on the map. I might be wrong there. But what you can do is just drag and drop, well, not drag and drop, just drag some area, and then you will find, okay, there is, there, I think that's plastic, right? No, this is iron. Well, we can collect the iron, but I think we are supposed to collect plastic. So let's see if we can also find some pile of plastic somewhere. Nope, 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 nope. I think there's also iron, and this was iron. There's stone. You can see the resources over there. I don't think that there's any good way to locate these, unfortunately. Gather all resources, gather sponge, stone, iron and plastic. There's plastic. Okay, so let's gather a bit of that. Alright, now we are opening the research window, which looks very bare bone, and I hope that there are some changes with that. So first up, we will just research the Tidal Turbine, which is costing 20 credits. We have a lot of credits, and I hope that this will change later in the full game. Right now, you don't really have a feeling for credits. It's just like an unlimited resource because you can't really spend all of that. You always have enough of that. So now we need to create housing. And this is a kind of a cool feature, because we are not just placing houses on the ground. Instead, we are building this dome, and we are basically splitting the game into 2 levels. So now we have this ground level where all our like our main resource stuff is happening. By the way, this building is ready, so let's also assign a drone to that. And yeah, now we have, or this building is being created. And you can also see with this building now that it has an upkeep of 120 sponge and 60 fuel. And as long as these are provided, it can, so it has 100% efficiency. It's doing a production of 180 of plastic per year. So you need to keep an eye on that, but there's also like an icon on the building if anything goes wrong. And then of course you're chasing like in the production line of where you can do something. So this building is ready now, is it? Yeah. And you can now press tab to switch over to the basically the residential area, and we need to build some houses over here. So let's do that. Let's place some houses. And you can also see that a house costs 10 credits and 10 plastic, but we basically have an unlimited amount of that. So we just built 2 of them, and that's all we can do in this tutorial. We need to, or it's not in the tutorial, yeah, in the tutorial, like in the first, where we are just following these orders. Now we are going to the researching an oxygen generator. So this is a lot of research you can do here. But a lot of these things are also very basic, and they're not really adding additional options. I mean, lots of them are, but also lots of them aren't. So we are going back down to the ground view, and we are building a tidal turbine, and this one is, you might have guessed it, it's generating electricity. And then we need to research this other thing first. There's also a slider at the bottom. So we are researching the oxygen generator, so that our residents are not yeah, they get oxygen to breathe, which is a nice thing, right? So we now place the oxygen generator over here, and then we need to connect everything with another pipeline. So let's do it this. And I think this was a bit, yeah, I mean, we're not like building a super base and everything highly efficient now. Usually if I wanted to play like a real game, right, a super challenging something, then I would probably try to maximize, build everything as close together as possible and so on. But now, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, we are building these no, this building's actually ready. This one needs to be built, and once this is built, we should have some oxygen, some electricity, but apparently we also need fuel. And so we need to connect that to our pipeline over here where we were generating that fuel. Let me disable the grid again. So this one is generating the fuel, right? So we need to build one big pipeline over to the other section. I think you can, the maximum of pipeline length you can build is 50. And yes, it's costing credits and plastics, but don't worry about that. There's no shortage of credits, and also not really of plastics. So let's just build a very long pipeline there. All right. And then we will just connect this over here. And that's it. All right. So research, we need to get a battery factory. Universal batteries. Okay, so we still have no idea what this battery factory is being producing. Well, batteries, but what are these batteries for? We will find out once we can place this building. Research completed, and now we need to place the battery factory, and you can see that this is used by worker drones, and I think that this is actually, do we have, I'm not sure if we have batteries somewhere here. Batteries, drone consumption 138, so that's basically the food for our drones. So it's a bit weird because we are not producing electricity for the drones, but in this very eco-friendly environment, we are producing batteries and throwing them away once they're empty. Okay, recharging batteries are not are not invented yet. Maybe. By the way, this game is playing, I think, after an apocalypse where the world went to shit, and now everyone needs to work, needs to live underwater. Yeah, we need to place a battery factory here. Now let's check the grid again so that we don't waste any space. But yeah, it's not really that important anyways. Maybe we should not have put it there. 1 second. Cancel gathering? No, I wanted to. I'm not sure if you can actually demolish buildings. Yeah, okay. I mean, we want to keep these because this is what now they are showing. I think now we might have cancel gathering. I'm not sure if my drones are now going to collect these. We don't want that. So either way, we are now placing the battery factory over here, and I hope that I didn't destroy the tutorial yet. So battery factory, and then I am connecting this with some pipes again. All right, and let's continue. Yeah. I don't think I can stop the drones now. That's a bit unfortunate. They're now going here and destroying all the all the resources we were gathering here. So it's probably decreasing the efficiency of that building. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah. So workers are arriving from the HQ, and they will then live in our houses there, and we can place a few new ones. While there are a couple of people who can live in a house, yeah, there are 2 more inhabitants now. While there are a couple of people who can live in the house, it is only housing like yeah, is what? I think the game is currently crashing. Yes, okay, that did not work well, but maybe it did an autosave. Let me have a look. Alright, so the game did do an autosave, so we are just here before placing this unfortunate battery factory which destroyed our sponges, so I can redo that. So let's place the battery factory in a better location right away, like I don't know, maybe here. Okay, this is destroying the line. This is good ground. Well, it doesn't matter too much now. So let's place it there. Yes, we are also destroying something there, but it doesn't really matter. And yes, this would also have been the end of the tutorial, so no problem there. We need to connect that. And of course, disable the grid again. Full speed ahead, and now we can freely build, research, and do stuff. Let's place some houses again. Yeah, and I think I was about to say that a house can, like multiple people can live there, but they will not live together if they don't have to. So if in every house there's like one person and you get new inhabitants, then they're saying like, nope, there's no new house for me. So unless it's a couple or so, they will not live together in that house, I think. So yeah, we have some houses, we get the new inhabitants, and now we need to, well, continue researching, building things. Basically, because you have almost unlimited amount of credits, we can just continue researching everything and just build everything. So, but we only, let's first have a look what buildings we can still build, which we haven't built yet. So first up, this one still needs a factory drone, and you can see now that this has an efficiency of just 66%, because there's something missing here, right? So the electricity is not enough to sustain all that. So we do need to place more of these tidal turbines, or, and we had that before, like this production boost. We can boost that one and boost that one again, and then this is producing more electricity, but it's still not enough. We can also have a look over there. We have a production of 112, but we require 120, so that's not going to work. So let's build a few more of these mill thingies. Yeah, let's put one over there, and over there. The prices are, I think, relatively low. 40 credits, 10 plastics, nothing. So yeah, that's that. And I think yeah, we also need to connect them in order to do anything, so let's do that as well. And now once they're finished, they should also give us some electricity. So we researched the deco banner, which is just something very cosmetical, I think. I'm not sure if that actually does anything. So one thing you might have seen is that our building option is changing if we are switching the levels. So in here we have a completely different set of items we can build, buildings we can build, and one of them is Beautification. We can build a banner here. Let's just place it somewhere in the middle, and I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but now our inhabitants can somehow identify with our banner or something. I don't know. Anyways, we researched that. Now we are researching the Oil Imperium combo, which is just increasing like the efficiency of a building. It's not doing anything. So these researches are kind of boring to have, and I think the research tree is a bit cluttered by these. So I think they should be like some, maybe if you have a research, then you have like sub-researches or so that it's not filled with these 10% here, 10% there, because that's not really interesting. So let's research the drone factory, because at some point we will run out of drones. If we look at our jobs board, we can see that we only have 6 drones available. And yeah, of course they will run out at some point, and then we get more and more inhabitants. Every now and then we get this message of we are getting more inhabitants. And if we then don't have enough food to sustain them, then well, yeah, they will not be happy. So let's research this in the meanwhile, and we research the drone factory. So let's see where we can build this drone factory. Okay, let's place that somewhere like here. No. Grid. So this is all building. Okay, let's put it there. And then we need to connect that with our pipe again. Floop. And now we can create new drones, new workers basically. So we have 2 types of workers, right? Residents and drones. And you can also see with the residents here that we have 4 adults, which are 3 families, and therefore they're using up 3 of the 5 houses. Okay, research completed, and this was, I think, just a percentage again. Yes, and here we will research a new building, which I will get to in a bit. So our drone factory is ready, but of course, again, we need to assign a drone to actually produce anything here. And it says that it's not connected. Didn't I place one of these? Alright, now it is. Alright. So, we have 288 food. And this is probably getting less and less because we are not really producing any food at the moment. And this is what our next research is going to do. The Sea Hunter's Lodge is giving us a new building. And with that building, we can get, I think, sharks or something. Yeah, it produces 150 shark as food. So we need to place it somewhere. And I'm not sure if the work efficiency there makes any difference. It seems to be 100% everywhere anyways. Okay, so let's just... It also doesn't show us where it's actually destroying things. So anyways, let's place it over here. Yeah, it's destroying 3 things. Well, anyways, it's not a problem for now. So we will connect that to electricity and stuff as well. And we should probably, yeah, like this and this. And this also then, yeah, and we got a new wave of drones. So we didn't need to produce them. Or maybe, no, I don't think they were produced. They were probably just added by our HQ. So yeah, we are creating the Sea Hunter's Lodge, and with that we are getting more food. And now we finished the research, which was just again a percentage. And now we will research another thing, which is also a percentage. So this is a Sea Hunter's Lodge to a Fisherman's Hub. I think we didn't have a Fisherman's Hub yet, which is also for collecting food, and we will just place that next to our lodge. So that was the Fisherman's Hub. Let's place that over there then, like this. And then we also get some new food from there, and before we completely run out there. All right. So research is now still just a percentage, and now we can research the underwater field, which is giving us yet again more food. So this one is ready, and we put a drone into that building, and now we get this new research actually there. So, but you can see that we are not running out of money. I mean, now I'm really quickly going through all the researches, building all the buildings. And now we are going to build like a huge farm thing over on this fertile land. And you can see that it's using more plastics than we have. And so what I'm doing now is that I will first collect some plastics again. Stone, iron, and plastics. Was this plastic? No, this is actually stone. We didn't need that. This is plastic, so let's just collect all of that. And that should probably be enough. I can speed it up again. Maybe we find some more plastic, which we can collect. What is that? That's stone. Well, let's collect some stone as well. But I'm primarily looking into... This is iron. We will also need some iron, but also not a lot. We got 800 credits now. Yeah, it's you are just bombarded with money and stuff. So that's a bit unfortunate, because then you don't really get a good feeling of the resources, I think. So what I prefer to do in like these survival games or city builders or whatever, is that I usually, for example, in RimWorld, yeah, I think is plastic. Yeah. In RimWorld, I'm just starting out with one single character naked, and then I'm doing everything from scratch, so that I know, okay, what is happening now? Okay, my guy is hungry, so I need to get some food. Okay, now I got some food, he's freezing, so I need to do something, some clothing and so on, right? So you get a better idea of that, and as soon as you're just bombarded with all kinds of resources, it's very hard to get a good hang of it. But yeah, I mean, this is like a tutorial thing, a demonstration, and I guess depending on like the difficulty setting of the map and so on, you will be able to adjust that. So anyways, we researched the underwater fields and we will build that really soon. Now let's do this raw seafood budgeting, which we'll just research, which is giving us again a percentage improvement, which is kind of boring, but anyways. So let's build this gigantic farm over here, and we're getting new workers. So let's place it over here as big as possible. And if we look at the jobs board, we can see that we still have drones available. Research completed. Send a new people to us. All right. Assign. Okay, we need to assign what we are actually growing here. So we can add seaweed to our plan and sea cucumber. So let's do that. Then we assign a farmer drone and an employee, and now this is also generating food. All right, so we had this sea budgeting thing researched. Now we also do property tax, and then I can show you something else. Let's have a look at our adults here. We have 7 adults and 5 families. We have all the house used up. So we should probably build some new houses, right? So let's do that. Let's place these houses on the other side. You can also rotate buildings with R. So just at the edge, I'm going to place some new buildings there, 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 and the last one over here. All right, and this should, should be enough for a while. And let's speed it up again. We got 40 new 400 plastic. No, HQ is sending us material to help us ensure the success. It's saying 400 plastic, and we had thought, yeah, you're just bombarded with resources. It's a bit, yeah, unfortunate. Research completed. All right, let's have another look at the research. We got property tax. Let's research the clothing shop. So I showed you the building in the beginning, or close to the beginning, and how useless this display was, or that I wanted to have it at some other point. But now we can click on the building and we researched this tax thing. So what we can do now is that we start this property tax, and this is giving us 1.5 credits per house. I am not sure how exactly it's working, because it's also costing 52 credits per year. So if we only have like 5 houses and it's giving us like 10 credits per year, then it will not make any sense. But in any case, we will just start that. It's costing 1 influence, and now we have 1 directive in place. I don't know how useful that is, but now we got it. All right, and now next up we are researching the clothes shop, and we are still not running out of any resources. The food is fine. We see that yeah, it's jumping up and down again, so everything is fine there. We still have enough drones, we have enough workers. We can upgrade some of the buildings. Like, okay, there's some issue now, and it's saying that we are missing fuel. All right, so now it kind of gets interesting, because now we are lacking resources. We can fix that by creating more fuel, but we will quickly run into issues there. So let's say we do this, we make more fuel by upgrading this building. Alright, this is now still okay, but at some point we will not have enough crude oil. So this is consuming 80, this is producing 120. I'm not sure if anything else is using it up, but you can mouse over this thing and you can see that we are producing 120 and we are using up 80 in total. So there you get a nice overview, a short overview about the resources. Same for the food, unfortunately not, because I mean that's also gathered resources, so that's not really possible. It's not a constant thing. So yeah, we upgraded that, solved that issue, but of course we will encounter some other issues in a bit. So now we research the clothes shop. We will just research the next thing. This is subsurface base 2. What we are researching now is that this main building is being upgraded, so then it is actually storing more and it will generate even more money, which we can't spend. But alright. So we researched the clothes shop, which is a building we can build where our residents. I always want to rotate buildings with tab, but tab is switching between the different between the base level and the residential level. For the clothes shop, we need to place it here, otherwise we don't have enough space. So there our residents can buy clothes. And it's also nice that when we click at the whole thing, we can see how much is actually consumed. And the houses only consume fuel and oxygen if someone is actually living there, which is cool. So this one actually needs a human to work in, so we assign a tailor, and now it's producing 175 clothes. Alright. So monthly produced, monthly used. Our research is finished again, and I think that's upgraded automatically. We can't really do anything there, so I guess it's automatically. So let's research the next thing, which is house 2. Alright. And with house 2 we can of course then upgrade our houses, and they get, I think, a second story. I'm not sure how that works then with the whole family thing, but and we got new drones. All right, how many drones and stuff do we have there now? Job spot, still enough, plenty. All right, so you can also see how the time is passing. We have temperature and Fahrenheit 7. All right, research is finished. Now we can have the new houses, but we will just start the new research for more energy production, which is just a passive anyway, so kind of not interesting. Public buildings, housing. So now we can either build house 2 or we can click on these houses and then we can tell them to upgrade that, which costs some plastic and so on. Now we can click on them individually and try to find them on the map, but the game also has well, I would say a nice overview. It's kind of chaotic, but at least you have an overview. So now you can also switch between the different levels, the ground buildings and the dome buildings. And over here you will find the housings somewhere, houses over there. And here you can see all the house 1 we have, all the house 2 and so on. And we want to upgrade all of them to house 2. I think you can also somehow, I thought you are able to cycle through them in some way, but apparently you're not. Let me check that here again. No, this might only be available for factories or so. But yeah, this is a way to find like the stuff you haven't upgraded yet without mouse overing all the different different items. Okay, we need to gather some more iron in order to this was plastic. We can use the plastic as well. This is stone. We don't need the stone. Do we have some more iron over here? Also stone. We need iron over here. All right. Yeah, let's gather that. And then we will also upgrade the other houses. So right now we are researching the energy production. As I mentioned, it's just giving us 10% more. Kind of not interesting. And then we will just continue doing something like that over here, which is giving us another 10%. And then researching that, which is giving us another 10%, just bonuses, which make everything faster, better, stronger, you know. So we have plastics, we have iron, we switch to the other level again. We didn't really have to because we can just open the buildings, filter for house 1, and then we upgrade them to house 2. Of course, we can also upgrade these with other stuffs, like the isolation, which is then reducing the fuel upkeep, which is also nice to have. I mean, it's not... You can also see with the stars that the upgrade is installed. I think it's a very nice overview. Of course, it would be nice to have a button to upgrade it to everything all at once, but at least you know where you need to still do stuff, so that's fine. All right. So what was the thing we can build over here in this clothing thing? We can reduce the upkeep, and for that we need tools to upgrade it once again. We can also upgrade the production. And if we upgrade the worker slots, we have 2 people working here, but I think the output we have is already more than enough, so that's fine. Let's see. Yeah, for the research, I mean, not a lot is going to happen there. Let's see. What's up next? Research completed. Now let's do the transport fever. Alright. So you also have a mini-map over here, which I guess is somewhat useful if once you expand further, but for this like preview thing, not that much. Expedition is not in yet. Then residence I think is also not in. You can't click on that. Research is finished again. So let's research the trade port. Ah yeah, one thing I wanted to show you is the stock, which is cool. So the food, for example, is one of the most crucial things where you also might not think that you have a great overview of what's actually happening. At least that happened to me the first time when everything was running out of food again and again, and I wasn't sure how much I'm actually consuming. And that's actually easy to see once you go into this stock menu. Now you can filter for all kind of food, and now you can also see the in and out for each month. So unfortunately this is just showing year 2, and you can't seem to not be able to go back to the previous year, I think. But there you can see that how much we are producing. Yeah, we are in January. That's a bit odd. It should show like last month or so. Like in the stock market, you have something year to date or last 12 months, and year to date is not useful if you are in January. So either way, we can see that we are generating 59 food, and we have consumption of 77. So we will actually consume more food than we are generating, and of course we should change that. So let's just there's also a weekly increase, 1 credit. Let's just do that. In the meanwhile, we just researched the trade depot, but before we look into that, we might want to increase our food production, and we might not want to build another building yet. So instead, what we are doing is we are giving these a production boost, and now we are getting more fishies over by the fisherman's hub, and we will do the same over here in the sea hunter's lodge. But you can see that they are, I mean, they are using oxygen and they are using sponge, and we might also run out of sponges at some point. So monthly produced 11, but we used 21. So we should increase our collection here. So let's increase the radius, which is probably, I'm not sure if that makes any sense, because if there's nothing in that radius, then, well, but we can also increase the production by 40%, and that should probably do the job. All right. So let's build this trading depot. A large base that established and maintains submarine trade routes with other underwater localities. Trade orders have to be issued manually. So let's just build it somewhere and see what happens. I haven't actually built that before. So that's the first time I'm seeing that as well. Actually, let's open that. Okay. Trade thing. Let's place it over here. Alright. So we need to demolish some stuff there. And jobs. We still have people working here. Alright. And what we researched drone contribution. We can research the shrine and build a shrine. And then we can also produce or build an iron mine. So these things which I gathered, like the plastic and the iron, we can actually produce these ourselves. So these are not like a limited resource. We can produce them ourselves if we want to. So let's have a look at this trade depot once it's finished. Let's disable the grid again. Yeah, I tend to just play with the grid because that's giving us a better overview. Research completed. Alright, that was the shrine. Let's research the iron mine and quickly just switch over to our building thingy here. And I'm not sure where the shrine is. Small statue, medium statue, large statue. Okay. Let's just build some statues over here. Like this. This, of course, this makes no sense, but I just want to build and show a small park. Whatever. Okay, large park. All right. Just want to show you the stuff and want to see it for myself, actually. So, trade depot. We built that. We need to add a pod drone over here. And now, what's it doing? I have no idea where to click to open trade panel. Alright, so now we can buy and sell plastics and so on. So there's a 20% fee and there's a price, and maybe you, I mean, if you're lacking resources and don't want to gather it, you can just buy it. I don't know, like, if the prices rise and fall, so it might be maybe to sell a resource when you set everything up. Single trade, run. Okay, yeah. Cannot initiate another trade until that's finished. Alright, I'm not sure if it makes sense to buy stuff cheap and then sell it again. I think there was some icon popping up for a second. So we might run out of some resources. Let's see. Electricity is enough. Crude oil is enough. Fuel is enough. Oxygen is slowly getting to its limits. All right. So the iron mine is ready soon. Then we could place the iron mine. But yeah, we have seen about an hour now, so I will stop it here. I think you have a good impression about what to, well, expect in the game in terms of how to build stuff, how to look into the resources and so on. Also how to manage your inhabitants, the split into drones, and well, let's have a look at these things once they're finished here. So we have some nice figurines rotating here. And you see also the inhabitants running around, which is cool, from the lift. All right. Of course, this is only just the alpha version. The full game will then be, yeah, have more features and so on. You have seen like this one, which is not in the game yet. And pipe is leaking. Ah, okay, that's interesting. So we can click on that, and then we can also repair the socket, and then a drone goes there and repairs it. I think it's a drone, might be a human. I mean, they are mentioning or calling that a survival city builder. We have not seen anything regarding survival yet. So, and I saw that in this other view, we do have security buildings, which is for protecting from natural predators and pirate threats. So this is something which would be, I mean, I always prefer games where it's easy to die, where there is a challenge that you need to, let's say, you can expect that between day 80 and day 100s, like a big threat, like a big pirate ship will appear and will destroy you if you didn't do anything to fight off this threat or anything like that. Similar to what you have in RimWorld, for example. And I think this might help, or I mean, it gives us some goal or some incentive to be ready, or some challenge to get some ready to something. So I don't know how much this game is building on this survival thing. I mean, it's calling itself Survival City Builder, and apparently it will have these resources, but I'm not sure if that's in already in the demo, or if you will reach that within the maximum of 3 hours of playtime. But still waiting for a worker. Why are they so lazy and doing... Okay, there's nobody coming here. I want my small dome. Large statue, large park. Okay, so I guess we will not see that then. Nope. Alright. Any case, you have seen the game. You can wishlist it on Steam. The release is scheduled for quarter four 2022. As mentioned, developer Digital Reef Games, publisher Overseer Games. You will find the links down in the video description. Let me know what you think of this game, all down in the comments. And now we are running out of oxygen. Interesting. All right. So let me know what you think about the game down in the video description. Also would be interested in what you expect from a survival city builder. Are you more into like just building stuff, or do you want to have a challenge and try to actually survive some threat? I know from Banished, for example, the issue was that yes, you need to survive the winter or so, and once that was done, the game was basically playing itself, and this is kind of also sad because it's not really continuing to be a challenge. Yeah, but that's it for me for today. I hope to see you again next time. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.